cannot get that. So we,
That's okay. Duly noted.
I cannot get that to go away.
That's interesting.
Yeah, can you guys on the broadcast, which is fine, I can look at the speaker names, but it's.
Click on participants up there.
Yeah, I've tried to click on everything.
We are live on YouTube right now.
Okay, there it is. All right. So, meeting has been called to order. Please take notice of the antitrust compliance notice furnished as part of the board package. Today's agenda, we are going to start with an update from the board subcommittee, and I think that we were discussing earlier. I would like to thank Tracy Hines for doing the organization of the meeting, and she actually had that meeting organized before the board subcommittee. So thank you to Tracy. I have been saying chair because that was the terminology that we originally used in the subcommittee meeting, but Sarah is our official board representative to these meetings, and the meetings are happening to better facilitate the dialogue between the board of directors and the community at large. And so from the latest meeting, we talked about the expectations of the board, project expectations for myself as the executive director, how the foundation and the open source project relationship progresses in the future.
Tabled the conversation of the future of the individual membership program until next week, and the board representation for community, actually this week, this Wednesday, and the board representation for community elected positions. Those conversations will be framed in terms of what was the initial intent of the individual membership program, and then where do the different groups believe we are as far as positions. And then there will be a 2-week gap before we meet again, and we try to drive some sort of consensus around what to do with the individual membership program and the community elected positions for the board.
So thank you, Sarah, and thanks for everyone who's participating. I really think it's a good initiative to try and get better understanding of what everyone does in the project, and I'm guilty of it as much as anyone else. There's so much going on that it's hard to quantify all the things that are happening in the project accurately, and what's going on at the board level, and making sure both sides understand what's going on there. So thanks for everyone's participation. The next thing on the agenda is they have announced the Node Collaborators Summit, which will happen June 1st. 31st through June 1st. In Berlin, it will be on the front end of the JS Conf EU, and you can track this progress there in the GitHub issues. Dan Shaw and Mateo Miles, Olivia and Tracy are organizing it. We want to make sure that we provide the resources that those folks need to be successful. And I don't know, Miles, is it clear who we could use as a conduit for? I'm worried about making sure that you have, travel covered and you have facilities and all those things that you would have to make asks for. I believe that Amazon might have donated some space for that.
Yeah. As far as I know, we are in discussions with 2 different locations, one for each day, and that discussion has not stalled, nor is there an explicit need for budget at this exact moment. For travel, requests are coming in on our admin group. It's something that we've been doing for multiple events, and we have the budget already allocated. So at the moment, I don't think that there's anything that we need as a direct ask or support. But if we do find there's a need for budget for a location, I will confirm this week and make sure, if that's necessary, that we get that sorted as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm just want to make sure that we're there to support it because it sometimes you need to get those deposits and such done, and we're going to be doing it in Germany from a U.S.-based accounting.
As far as I know, everything has been sorted there. One thing that may be nice to do would be like like a leadership dinner or something like that. We did that last year, sponsored by Google. It was something I threw together last minute, but if the foundation wanted to support something like that, that may be a nice thing that we could do.
Yeah, it's part of our ambassador program too. I'd like to make sure that there was something to recognize the collaborators for attending, whether it's a backpack or t-shirts or something,
sponsored meal or some sort of
yeah, because it's important. I think it's very good that you've self-organized, but we want to make sure if you need anything that we're there to help.
So I'll take that back to the group and then say like maybe there's things that you didn't think about doing that are like extra plus ones we could do. I do think finding resources to allocate to organize that may be hard though. So if that's something you can maybe take
that's why that's the kind of the boring administrative things. That's what we do and we do well.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll make sure that the team knows about that.
Sarah's laughing.
But I mean, they do taglines, but foundations. We do the boring stuff.
I mean that's
it's true.
If we take that out of the way, you can write great things. That's
exactly
the role of a foundation.
I agree.
But,
I think it's so distinct.
Yes.
We do the boring stuff you don't want to do.
I used to do marketing for foundations.
I know.
Okay, thanks. Congratulations on getting that off the ground. The other thing that happened recently I wanted to note was that during the Index conference in February, we had a Node Community Day, and I wanted to thank members of the TSC, IBM, and the Community Committee for all supporting that. We had a fairly large room, and I think it was a good learning experience. Is that we did it as a community day, but I don't think a lot of our community was there. And I think we probably will learn. The learning that I took away was
we had people who came to learn about Node.js,
and we we're too steeped in what we do versus what does Node.js do. But it was on the flip side, we did have for me the highlight of the day was hearing how Walmart Labs was using Node as a enterprise platform for application development. I mean, it was really interesting, and to the point of Dan did a nice job of getting a really, really knowledgeable, excellent speaker as part of the panel, but I want to see us duplicate that. At the end of the day, we had Tierney do a community values working session, which is sort of collecting what he thought, or what the members that were there from the community thought of what our values should be. I think we should keep facilitating how that codifies itself across the project. But I think that was very interesting. And Michael had the working groups, which was probably very interesting to those steeped in the technical discussions, but probably for the non-indoctrinated people who were attending, it was a little bit too much detail. So we learned that it was absolutely a great opportunity for us to have. We got space donated to us, and we got together and talked about Node, and that's always a win. All right. I also there's been some changes in the committee chair. It was co-chaired by Tierney and Rachel White. Rachel White is stepping down, but still a member of the community committee. It's just too much of a time commitment. She has done a great job, and I wanted to thank her publicly for everything she's done. But Tierney will be the sole community committee chair going forward, and he is definitely a enthused and engaged member of the community. So thanks to Rachel, and we look forward to working with Tierney even more. Sarah Conway, are you on the call? You see her? She might need to be promoted to a panelist. So, if maybe she got stuck in travel. Anyhow, I can speak to this to some level. One of the things that we wanted to do was formalize our ability to reach out and mobilize members of the Node.js community. We have, and that's probably one of our greatest strengths is their ability to self-organize. I mean, we have a very, very engaged community, and with a very large community, they still get a lot done. If you look at the adding network effect of adding more people, you usually slow down, and our velocity continues to be good. But I get a number of inquiries every day for how can we participate in Node better, and we don't have a good baseline set of ways that we help people. So right now, and we have a self-organizing Node conference in Africa going on that Miles and I are speaking at. That's a virtual conference. We have an Israeli group who is working on doing a fairly sizable Node meetup. And so all these things we're going to put under the umbrella of our ambassador program, but we don't have, currently we don't have a community manager to address that. So Zibby has stepped up and created a few things that she will do to help these people. For example, helping with speaking submissions, swag, which is t-shirts, stickers, things like that to show that we want to support them. It's even a small gesture that right now it's not formalized. We do that stuff all the time, but help with slides. So a lot of times people are intimidated to give talks because they don't have any. They're great developers, they're great documentation people, but they're not great presenters. So we will put together a group of slides that they're welcome to use and do that kind of thing. And then we'll build on that. So the first step is if you come to us and say, we want your support, we at least have something, a package that we can send them, and someone, like usually it's me saying, good job, I'm so excited, but I don't have the bandwidth or even a process that's consistent to help them.
So those slides that you produced for the analysts, a lot of that is good generic information that we could make available.
Yeah. Actually, there's one set of updates, and I'm going to put them on SlideShare so that people can take them and slice them and dice them if they like. And honestly, a lot of it is stuff that I sliced and diced from NodeSource and HackerRank and other sources as well. So that is our plan there. I'm not sure.
Are we going to give like help on how to hold a meetup or those kinds of things too? Or?
So I think that I need to solve some of the community management aspects there before we just don't have the bandwidth to do it without some appropriate contractors, and I'm looking into that right now, and probably after this one. Okay. Share a little bit. But anyhow, that mini ambassador program is being discussed in the ComCom repo on GitHub. It's already budgeted as far as the resources that we would send. It's mainly work, and actually, I think Zibby is probably one of the, she's enthusiastic about it and will do a good job to start, but we will need to augment that to really motivate or mobilize all these independent groups across the world. Sorry that Sarah couldn't make it, but I would have suspect she's stuck in an airport somewhere. So did you say that you did get an update for the mentorship or
I don't have an update for the mentorship, but I do for the bug bounty.
Bug bounty. Okay, so we're going to skip over that, the mentorship program, but we'll have an update next month.
Yep.
The bug bounty program.
Yeah. So the security working group has been putting together a proposal for the Node Foundation, or more accurately, the Node Technical Project, to be involved in a bug bounty program. So from a really high level, the way security reports work right now is we have an email address that people can email. Those emails get handled by people like myself who are on the security team. We fix things, we assign CVEs, we do security releases, And then after the fact, we give a thanks to the people who have helped. That process would be completely unaffected or changed by this bug bounty program. The bug bounty program that we're talking about getting involved in is the IBB, the Internet Bug Bounty Program. The person who's mainly running it is an individual named Reed, who works for the IBB, and the IBB pays out bug bounties after fixes have been done to core infrastructure around the internet. So the reports don't go through the IBB, they continue to go to maintainers through the original process. After the bug has been fixed and the CVE goes out and someone has been given responsibility for that, the IBB then assigns bounties based on the severity, which it then pays out. It's run by a panel made up of various companies who have donated to the IBB. So it tends to be, it's not like one company or one person is deciding who these bounties go to or how much those bounties are. And it's run on top of the HackerOne platform, who we are joined right now, by some people who have a vested interest in. Yeah, know it a little bit. But so the question I think that is on everyone's mind is, what do we have to do, both as a project and as a board and as a foundation? So there's actually really no expectation. We could have this done without us doing anything, and the reason why it's being done this way is because it's the right thing to do. You don't just start running a program that could be sending us more security researchers if we don't have the infrastructure to support it. But there's no expectations from money from the foundation to pay for vulnerabilities that are discovered in core. The IBB has donators who are already handling that. We could choose to incentivize the program by adding more money into the general bounty pool. So that's something that we as a board can decide to do in the future, but it is not necessary to get the program off the ground. And if we wanted to have bounties for the ecosystem modules, we could help sponsor that. So these would be general modules and NPM. But this program that we're talking about spinning up is going to be just for Node.js core. The IBB would not be sponsoring bounties for anything in ecosystem packages. There's no need for us to sign anything, and they just wanted to make sure that we're okay with it and that the process is opt-in. One thing that is worth mentioning as well is that our security working group has put together a proposal for the security team. Two different groups. The working group is general people who are interested in improving process. The security team are the people who are doing the work on the ground. And there is discussion about moving our triaging to the HackerOne platform. And if we do move our triaging to the HackerOne platform, IBB hooks right into that and automates the process of giving the bounties to people when things are closed down. So that's the update on the program, as both a board member and a collab. Oh, yeah.
And so in terms of ecosystem projects, so you think of other frameworks that are wildly popular and Node. Was there a reason why they weren't interested in looking at that right now?
That is how the program itself works. So IBB could be used to give bounties for other projects, but the bounties that come out of their collective pool are for core technologies. So Node qualifies as a core technology, Express doesn't because it sits on Node.
If we chose to augment the bounties, is that money allocated strictly for Node.js?
So I think we would have an opportunity to do either or. We can choose to allocate money that's specific for Node. We could choose to sponsor IBB and participate in IBB at large, or we could choose to make a pool specifically for ecosystem projects. Good. Excellent. And as I was going to say, I'm largely in favor of this. Bug bounty programs are great, and as one of the people who will probably have to do more work around it, I welcome it with open arms.
So does this require us to actually take a vote or anything?
Nope.
Because it's really free and
So that's why
Yeah.
if we chose to support it via additional monies, but I would say, let's see, get it hooked up and see how it goes. And,
Yes, and if it's successful, I can help drive a proposal to try to help it.
and we have a little bit of experience in the room on how bug bounty programs work.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
All right, good day. Thanks, Miles. All right, that is everything I had on the public agenda. Can you check to see if there were any questions from YouTube?
There are no YouTube questions right now.
Like that, if you want something.
Yeah, if anyone's watching, there's 8 of you. You can ask questions. I pinged it on Twitter, and I'm not seeing any explicit questions on Twitter. And on the IRC, people are talking about code.
And
Alright.
then Zoom, oh, Zoom would only be us, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoom would only be us.
But if anyone knows anything about context has and better API and V8, maybe.
Okay, yeah, let's work on that.
So if there are any other questions from the board or the members on here, we could call that.
Okay, then I hear no other questions. Let's call to close the public session for.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Hold on 1 second. Did we stop the stream? I'm going to stop the stream.